presentation.
The world is filled with mind-blowing things to see, both natural and man-made.
At the same time, there are deep social, economic, and environmental issues.
No secure homes, hunger, contamination, lack of economic opportunities.
To provoke a rebirth in the world, we must act. And as a team, we started in the Caribbean.
We are Boricuas, committed to creating more inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable communities.
An island with an amazing culture, tasty food, clear waters, and the brightest sunshine in the world.
Even when our times are really tough, as Puerto Ricans, it's our nature to love and care for each other.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are Enactus, Puerto Rico. I'm Gilani de Castro, and these are my partners Paola, Walter, Yaritza, and Cristina. Today, we will share with you how our story has changed the path of many individuals in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico.
To achieve this, we are following the indicators stated on the United Nations Wheel of Prosperity, Productivity, Infrastructure, Equity and Social Inclusion, Quality of Life, and Environmental Sustainability.
Let's see how entrepreneurial action for others create a better world for us all.
Juan Berrinche, tengo 21 años viviendo.
Y tengo aquí 24 años para 25 años.
Más de 60 tengo aquí, más de 60 años viviendo. Vivir en Berrinche es muy complicado porque no hace falta muchísimas cosas. Echando una mañanita para comérselo uno de arroz blanco, que ni siquiera da en la noche. Y pasamos mucho trabajo. El gobierno no ha hecho nunca nada por nosotros.
Echando días en la finca, un día sí, un día no. Las cosas son así.
Growing up and living in this environment is a big challenge. That was the reality we encountered 3 years ago when we arrived at El Berrinche in San Juan de la Maguana.
53 families in extreme poverty, terrible housing conditions, people barely eating, serious environmental destruction, no water, no electric power, scarce economic opportunities.
Inequality, diseases, illiteracy, no sense at all of the meaning of the word community, perceived as lazy and misfits, but worst of all, they accepted to live in that reality.
We needed to take action to teach them that there is a world of infinite possibilities.
The first step was to educate and integrate the community in the process and hold them accountable for their own development. Through meetings, conferences, workshops, and simulation activities, we invested over 2,000 hours, and finally, we reached their social cohesion.
Evidence of this, they established a community board, and the 53 families elected the Perez Contreras family as their main leaders.
Along with them, we developed an action plan to tackle the key problems identified in the needs assessment: housing, food, health, and lack of economic opportunities.
Together, we created Bottle of Hope to build and develop a community, 53 bottle houses, a community center, an ecological park and a space for harvesting and eco-business ventures.
An economic, social, and environmentally sustainable community.
An equitable, prosperous, and sustainable community.
A community aligned to the United Nations Habitat Conceptualization.
To formalize the community involvement, they signed a participation agreement in which each family agreed to contribute to the construction process in order to gain ownership of their houses.
It's a huge project, and we built a strong network to support the process, which included the community, the city mayor, engineers, business people, volunteers, and our university. Strategic alliances ready to make it work.
To assure transparency, we register our foundation to run the program and make our constituents accountable to each other.
To start, we had to solve an important issue. They lived on occupied land, so we found an ideal site to give them a suitable place to live.
6 acres of flat and fertile land, near a main road with access to potable water, close to the children's school, and with the natural and physical assets to create feasible opportunities.
The cost, $60,000 that we raised through entrepreneurial strategies. The agreement was settled with the landowners, and with that, the opportunity to start construction and economic development for these people.
Unquestionably, their main need was a secure home, so we explored cost-effective methods to meet this need.
One thing caught our attention: the large number of plastic bottles being burned in the zone, a habit that causes great health and environmental hazards.
The solution: use those plastic bottles as raw materials to give shelter to the 222 residents.
For those of us living in the Caribbean, climate conditions determine the safety of any structure. That's why we partnered with engineers and a contractor who designed a bottle house that complies with the International Building Code.
An innovative design that replaces bricks with bottles filled with sand, reuses 12,000 bottles, and cools down the house 3 to 5 degrees.
We obtained the construction permits and then we educated the community on how to build their houses. As a matter of fact, 13% of the residents have construction skills, so we gave them the tools to become leaders in the process.
The 53 families participated in this training, where they learned about the safety construction practices, building walls, blueprint reading, among other things.
This was crucial to limit construction costs to only $5,000 for each home and to develop the critical skills to build their houses.
To measure the knowledge acquired, they were challenged to build the community center, a place where we promote their economic and social development.
All of them working together on this construction. 60,000 bottles were used, which reduced the space in their landfills by 2.7 cubic meters.
At this time, 3 of our main objectives were fulfilled. A feasible solution for a secure home. Residents were engaged, now confident that a better life is possible. They had new soft and hard skills and a place built with bottles to promote the economic movement to build their houses.
Le agradezco a Enactus porque nos van a construir una nueva vivienda digna y me enseñaron a colocar la botella. Cómo se van a colocar bien. Ahí aprenden.
But they needed more than a house. They needed to better their socio-economic conditions, so we challenged ourselves to develop business ventures, create jobs, improve their health conditions, incorporate women into the economic process, and restore their human dignity.
So we started by creating services and ventures led by the residents. To choose the initiative, we developed a survey in which we explored their skills, interests, and abilities.
According to the Agriculture Department, this area has the most fertile land in the country. Also, 72% of the residents knew how to cultivate, so we created La Cosecha, an agribusiness venture for the harvesting of vegetables and legumes.
To take the lead, we chose Augusto and Tirso, who showed their agriculture expertise and willingness to learn. We developed in them the entrepreneurial mindset and the skills to successfully run the venture.
Using their agricultural know-how, they divided the harvest according to the weather and the season. That is why the first crop was corn, generating $3,500. Then they planted peanuts and pigeon peas, generating another $6,500.
La Cosecha has proven to be successful, generating this year $10,000, creating 20 jobs that allow the residents to bring economic support to their families.
Just to give you a perspective, the salary generated by Tirso represents 7 times the equivalent wage average of the zone. On the other hand, 15,000 pounds of new fresh produce are being distributed.
To assure sales and distribution, we have a long-term contract with Daniel, a wholesaler that agreed to purchase 100% of the harvest.
This agreement is our main success. Why? No one had ever wanted to do business with this community, and for the first time, someone believed in their commitment, marking a new endeavor for these families.
Esta es la cuarta cosecha que se hace en los terrenos. Es una buena producción, se utiliza en la construcción, en materiales y en todo lo que se necesita para hacer comida y de todo. Es muy exitoso, la construcción está muy bella, muy linda.
With the success of this venture, the business flame had been lit among the residents, especially the women who were eager to contribute to their families.
It was not easy for them because honestly, the Latin macho culture constrains them from participating in the economic process. Women in this area have unstable jobs, do unpaid work, and are forced to marry at a young age.
We challenged that mentality, integrating 22 women in the construction and agriculture processes. And through a 25-hour entrepreneurial program, we impulsed Ruth, Gisauri, Mari, and Alejandra to create a new business venture.
En Moda, a second-hand store that sells clothing to working-class families. to run the store. We reached an agreement with the hotels of the zone that gave them a space to operate.
And they apply what they learned. Taking into consideration the purchasing power of this zone, the women strategically decided to open twice a month, close to payday, and sell the clothes for $1, $3, or $5 to create a competitive advantage.
The results were amazing. In just 3 months of operation, they sold 150,000 Dominican pesos, created loyalty among customers, and opened 2 more points of sale.
But most important, Emoda is providing income for the first time to these women. 2,500 pesos monthly, the equivalent of 3 months average wage in the zone, giving them a productive and proactive role in the economic development of the community. Thanks to our program, this entrepreneurial culture has been embraced, and other business ventures emerge among the residents, provoking an economic movement of over $45,000.
Like Eligio's grocery store that is already up and running, generating over 180,000 Dominican pesos.
Or Jose, a bottle entrepreneur who collects and sells us the bottles to build all the houses.
Well, it is a good time to see how our work is going. Now, more objectives have been achieved with 4 new ventures, 27 jobs created, and the best outcome, we integrate women into the economic process and the community is now perceived as productive.
But still, the community has extreme sanitation and health issues, and the sector was coded as a high-risk zone due to diseases such as malaria and TB.
We must act. Thanks to an agreement with a local organization, we offer free medical services in the community center, already reducing by 9% epidemic diseases.
Also, we developed a health and sanitation program in which we integrated the kids, a great opportunity to transform the bad habits of this community. We talked on the importance and discipline of personal hygiene and the value of water and health.
We wanted to prove their knowledge, and to do it, we challenged them to create sabon, converting discarded hotel bar soaps into new ones, one step closer to achieve a healthy community.
The sustainable base has been built, and people have the skills, knowledge, and tools to better their lives. All of our main objectives for this year have been achieved, so they were ready to build the 53 bottle houses.
With the income generated in each initiative and with a grant of $16,000, they began construction, already providing secure home for the first 4 families.
Aprendí a cómo vender ropa y así puedo reunir mi chavito para comprar en que sea la leche a mi hijo.
Agradecemos a ustedes porque se han portado muy bien.
Yo veo la buena voluntad que ustedes tienen para nosotros.
They are our driving force to finish all the houses by 2018. At the end, we will have given new use to more than 730,000 plastic bottles and a community fully operational and sustainable.
You may ask, how do they support this program? Our experience and projects in Puerto Rico have given us the expertise and sustainability to help our neighbors.
Let's see how we are standing tall for our island.
People is very clear. We are out of cash.
De no poder brindar y ofrecer los servicios a más de 100 familias. Difícil conseguir trabajo.
We have a severe crisis, but we also have a resilient spirit that drives us to create feasible opportunities for our people.
Following our team mission, we set our main objective for Puerto Rico this year: impose an entrepreneurial culture, create jobs and business opportunities, and support the operations of financial transparency of several NGOs.
Our driving force? Possible. A business program focused on encouraging the entrepreneurial spirit, which let us this year work with more than 50 individuals and 2 organizations.
Through seminars, workshops, and consulting services, we built an ecosystem of successful entrepreneurs, like Maria Carmen, a woman with a good academic background who had to leave our island to look for new opportunities.
But through Possible, she came back home and her new entrepreneurial venture emerged, Identity Puerto Rico, an apparel company in which she found the means to a prosperous life and has empowered 80 women who have joined her as business partners, generating this year over $182,000.
Or Janet, a mother of 2 who almost lost everything due to the lack of job opportunities. She needed to put her passion to work to bring out her capacities.
Gracias a Possible tuve la oportunidad de traer nuevos ingresos a mi hogar y de servir de inspiración para mi hija para que pueda crear su propio negocio.
She is living proof of the success of Possible, an independent woman, a successful entrepreneur who made this year over $9,400.
On the other hand, The economic crisis mainly affected the NGOs that depended entirely on government funds, like La Casita, who serve families in extreme poverty in our hometown.
We built their capacity and developed 6 initiatives that helped them retain 13 jobs and generated over $60,000 this year to run their operations.
Or La Fondita de Jesús, an organization that served homeless people on our island, who let us initiate the education of 4 participants and the administrative process to replicate our Bottle of Hope program by 2017.
A new entrepreneurial culture has emerged with 41 new ventures. We created or sustained over 325 jobs, producing an economic movement of over $800,000 and impacted over 1,000 lives.
There are more stories to tell because this is what Boricuas do. Stand tall for Puerto Rico.
This is how we use the entrepreneurial action to empower people. And to support our operations, we created Ecolibros, a bookstore which provided us this year over $265,000.
The wheel of prosperity is fully in place. With more than 25 partnerships and a solid strategy, our goals have turned into outcomes.
This year, we've built the capacity of a new economic workforce of 447 individuals,
catalyzing 46 new businesses and an injection of $2.1 million into our economy.
We empower 223 individuals to build a community with access to potable water, clean energy, and proper sanitary conditions.
Leading fulfilling lives with better health conditions in an inclusive, safe, and secure environment.
Providing women with equal opportunities to succeed and achieve a fully integrated and productive community.
Ensuring sustainable consumption by harvesting 15,000 pounds of fresh produce.
addressing climate change and reducing the space in their landfills by 55 cubic meters.
Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic in global action to enable economic, social, and environmentally sustainable communities. No doubt, we are city changers.
And by seeing opportunities,
we took action.
and definitely, we are enabling progress.
We are Boricuas, committed
To change our world.
Thank you. We'll now begin the question and answer session. Only judges may ask questions. Please stand if you wish to ask a question.
Just wanted to thank you for a lovely presentation. I just wanted to find out the sustainability of the collection of the bottles. How do you ensure a steady flow of the bottles for the building?
Thank you for your question. Well, the first thing we have to say, the first thing we saw when we arrived is that we were burning these bottles to maximize library space. The second thing we found, these people needed secure homes. So that was the perfect opportunity to create this project, Bottle of Hope. The way we actually collect these bottles to build the houses is first, we get them from the landfills because they want to reduce the burning of them. Secondly, we have bottle entrepreneurs inside of the community who are helping us bring those bottles to the community. And secondly, with the development of the community, a lot of other cities near the community have actually created different spaces where they collect the bottles and they actually bring it to the community where it's being develop the community.
Great presentation. Just wondering if you could expand a bit more on the outcome of 41 new entrepreneurs. How does your team support them and help them with their businesses?
Thank you. With the 41 entrepreneurs, what we do is that we start with our E-Square project management system in which we identify the target audience, then we conduct a need assessment or situation analysis so we can check what we're doing and what they're going to do after, with our workshops and stuff. Then we do the implement of the innovative business model, and by that we can put them into action and finally have the result and measure what are their outcomes with our workshops.
And have you seen much impact? So, what has the impact been so far of the 41 new businesses?
Oh, thank you. It actually has been great. This project has been running already for 3 years. This year, actually, it was 41 businesses. But previously, we have successful, 20 other businesses running. Like any other business, there's always failure in some of them because the situation analysis is done by that to see if it's actually going to be feasible creating these businesses. But this year we had the opportunity to work with 41 of them, and thank God each and one of them was successful.
Thank you, an inspiring presentation. You've mentioned a couple of times the 3-year journey. Could you please really quantify for us what exactly took place this year and the financial impact of this particular project?
Yes, thank you. For this year, we started the construction of the community center. Also, we have the 4 new houses constructed. Also, we developed the 4 ventures that are Mr. Tilapia, El Colmado Santa Rosa is a grocery store, En Moda, and Savon also. And
La
then,
Cosecha.
And La Cosecha, I'm sorry. And then, thank you. Our total economic movement for this year was 2,105,881. That way we divided of 1.7 million in Puerto Rico and $400,000 in Dominican Republic, because this include our team revenues that are over $265,000. Then we have the institutional support that is over $25,000. The in-kind services that are over $459,000, because this include the engineers, surveyors, among others. And we have the savings by our communities that are over $234,000. And then we have finally the income generated by our projects that are over $1,122,000.
Well, thank you for your question. Actually, for the bottles, we have been doing an agreement with some bottling companies that are interested to be part of the Bottle of Hope program. For the Savon project, actually we've been working for 2 years with the community, so a lot of these hotels already know our team members. And when they saw that we wanted to do this activity to integrate the kids in the community, they offered the hotels that were actually being discarded in their hotels to be part of this program of Savon. And just in case, we have an agreement with 3 hotels of the area.
How did you inspire the wholesaler to buy 100% of the produce?
Thank you. The way that we inspired the wholesaler is because when we had an agreement with...
I'm sorry, your time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking the team from Puerto.